Team Captain, Model Test Designer, Presentation Manager.
My name is Adam, co-captain and main coder.
My name is Noah, main builder and robot designer.
My name is Christian, main researcher and model designer.
There are many problems with our seas: trash, light pollution, and overfishing. One issue caught our team's eyes: oil spills. Oil spills are a major contributor to ocean pollution. Every year, for the past several decades, over 52 million gallons of oil have been divulged into our great seas. That's over 142,000 gallons of oil put into our oceans every day. All of this is harming our coastal cities, meaning ice is melting, more animals are dying, and sea levels are rising.
In April of 2010, the Gulf of Mexico suffered a catastrophic oil spill known as the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. It ranged from Louisiana's coast to Florida's panhandle. In the following months, birds, sea turtles, and other mammals exceeding numbers of 8,000 were found injured and or deceased.
For 87 days, oil spewed into the Gulf. During these days, over 210 million gallons of oil emptied into the sea. You may be familiar with an everyday home joke. Now, imagine 210 million of these.
Oil spills are not just devastating to local ecosystems, they also affect local economies. The one example is a fishing boat that supports a family business. Because there are no healthy fish in the waters, the boat can't support the business, leading to less income for the family.
We have found out that there's people right here trying to make a difference. Georgia Tech has a research group that studies the effects of oil on the ecosystems in our ocean. EcoGig is a research team consisting of oceanographers, marine biologists, and chemists from different research institutes, including Georgia Tech. Their goal is to research and find ways to protect our seas globally.
On July 1st of 2022, the United States banned offshore drilling on the East Coast seaboard. So, for the 2024 elections ending in Trump's favor, it's expected for them to release these bans.
God bless them there.
If he chooses to do these things, we want to help protect our East Coast waters from oil spills and help increase efficiency of cleaning up oil spills after a disaster happens. So after days of research, we decided, why don't we find a solution to this issue? At first, the team was thinking, because oil floats on top of water, why don't we trap it around the origin of the oil spill? But there's just one consequence of that. What do we do with the oil after so? So that's why we implemented the idea of an unmanned filter that would drive around and suck up oil. Perfect, right? No, because how would this filter the oil from the water?
And that's what we needed to fix. None of us have ever built a filter before.
No.
But we do know how it works. So to get a better grasp of how filters work, we took a closer look at their functionality and how they're used in real-world situations.
During our research, we found that there are no unmanned filters available to clean up oil from oil spills. This means if we create a system for unmanned filters, it could revolutionize oil cleanups as we know them. We've created 2 prototypes that could potentially do this.
We created a scale model of an oil spill, but this is apparently illegal to make on the actual ocean. To represent one, we got a pan, water, and oil. The pan is filled with water and then topped up with oil.
To go along with that spill, we have created 2 prototypes for solution to oil cleanups. The first prototype in this case has a red solo cup holding the filter of the system. It contains 5 layers of filters. The first layer in this case, a fork, represents a net of sorts that will get rid of any trash from damaging the internal filters. The second layer in this case, a bunch of cotton balls that are clumped together to get rid of any trash that manages to get through the net.
The third layer is made up of cotton rolls to represent a more fine and denser filter to remove any oil and let water pass through the fourth layer.
The fourth layer is a coffee filter. Make sure we really get those smaller bits of excess stuff, including oil.
The 5th and final layer, we used notebook paper because we found that it took the longest time for it to absorb water, meaning it'll take much more time, if any, for it to absorb water.
During our initial test, we found that the majority of the oil was kept in the center of the filter and less than half the oil emptied into our holding cup. Seeing this as a win, we wanted to see how we can improve our model even more.
Our first filter system is what gave us our result of less than half of the oil getting through the filtration system. It is also the filtration system that we just explained to you.
For our second test, we decided to over-engineer the filter just a little. Now, it starts off with an actual net this time to get rid of any debris that may damage the internal filters.
The second is just some simple cotton ball to get any excess things that may have gone through the net. The third layer is some thick paper towels that are a little more absorbent than others.
Next is a cotton filter for the same reason as before. And this no different is, but it's just a layer less thicker than last time.
For our next layer, we decided to put a good layer of sawdust. Reason being, over the weekend, our pans of oil and water leaked all over our table and floor. School paper towels were not cutting it, so we decided to put a good layer of sawdust over the oil and water.
To our surprise, it actually soaked up most of the oil. Because of this, we decided to implement it into our filtration system. After this, we added cotton rolls for a more thick filter.
After that, we finalized the system with newspaper to get rid of any micro-sized oil bits. And thus, our filter was complete, with any excess oil ending up into the bottom cup.
Our great filter
Trademark patent.
managed to soak up lots of oil and water. To capture our product, we added a cup at the bottom to catch it. Because of this, we could see oil and water made through.
To our surprise, no oil made it past the great filter.
Trademark.
Although it may seem like it, turns out our seal between our cup and our filter was loose and had several gaps, meaning oil and water could leak in all at once.
So, because of that, the oil you saw in pictures is purely because of an easily fixable problem. You're probably wondering how we know this. When J-Stat sent through the filter, we found that no oil made it past the sawdust, and anything wet after that was just water.
This shows that the great filter
Trademark.
made where no oil made it even halfway through it. By this evidence, our model worked wonders in cleaning up oil. This will not only help efficiency and speed of cleaning up oil spills, but also help prevent further disasters by protecting affected areas.
As we've hoped you've seen, you would probably agree with us that this solution would have a significant impact on oil cleanups and ecosystems across the Atlantic.
And the Pacific.
And many more seas across the world.
And that's
Any questions?
Did you, for your project, did you have any outside help? Did you talk to any community members?
We did get in contact with a marine biologist and talked about them with our project in the early stages of it. So for a day there, we did talk about them. They gave us some feedback how we can improve it and how oil fields affected ecosystems.
That was probably the most reliable source that we came across.
Okay. Did you use that feedback any? What feedback did you use?
Well, at first, we did not have an idea of a ring, but it was still in the early stages. And later on, the same marine biologist gave us the idea of also making a ring that could trap the oil around the spill, along with our unmanned filter.
So to help kind of just lay down the baseline of what we thought of.
We talked to, she worked like 10 years or something in marine biology, and she reported on the great oil spill that we were talking about, the Deepwater Horizon one. And that was like a really good source of information about the oil spill and how we can clean up.
Did y'all do any research about the group that does they use human hair to absorb oil? You all know what I'm talking about?
No, ma'am,
No, we haven't
that would be
done
great to
research
look
about
into for our future presentation.
Awesome.
Is that all the questions? Thank you. So, would you like to ask anything about our robot? What we plan to do?
Yeah, so tell me about your robot. What did y'all attempt to, missions did y'all attempt to do with your robot?
For our robot, we attempt to do mission. Well, for us, we're doing mission. It starts at 19, which is the coral buds, and then it goes to the mast, and then we do the shark, which is like reef that one now, and then we do the coral reef segment. No,
Yeah.
not reef. Nursery thing. And then we go back to home, then we put the shark in its habitat, and then it drives it all the way to the other home base. And then we do the unknown creature. We release it, hopefully, if things go right, bring it back to home, keep it there. Then we do the what's it called, submarine? The submersible. We flip it up, hopefully get it to the other side after them, because
Yeah.
then we do the anglerfish, and then if the coding works, it will go back home, and then we'll put the unknown creature in its cold sleep, and then we'll be done.
The mask one seemed really hard to me. Did y'all try that one at
Well, it's worked a couple times.
It has?
We're pretty good at it.
Me, Jace, and Adam, we played a lot in making that mission possible. His idea was to make a circle that we could make go around the yellow handles of the mast. And I made the attachment possible where it can catch on to the mast so it doesn't fall over while not catching it and pulling it back down without breaking the mission. We found it had great success with very good efficiency and has around a 90 to 80% success rate.
So did you try other things to make that one work, or did y'all go straight to the ring?
We have